requesting a judge block the state's new congressional redistricting map from being used in the midterm elections. NBC6 in Miami spoke to Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Oh, I mean, my district was, blown into smithereens. I mean, I'm running for re-election. I mean, that's my plan.
Following a recent landmark ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court, several southern states have redrawn district lines. Critics of Florida's new map say it violates the state's constitution, which expressly bans gerrymandering that favors one political party over another, while a legal brief filed on behalf of the Florida Senate argues that partisan gerrymandering has not been proven. Authorities are investigating vandalism at an historic black cemetery where vandals knocked over headstones, broke open crypts, and spray-painted the words Trump and DeSantis. CBS 12 spoke to some whose family are buried at Old Memphis Cemetery in Palmetto and who came to survey the damage.
And I just think it's a travesty that someone would do something like that. I don't know who would have the gall to come in a cemetery and vandalize it.
I just thought it was evil. And it's not right. It's just not right.
No arrests have been made. Rewards are being offered for information that leads to an arrest. If you have any information, please contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Miami-Dade County is cracking down on disabled parking permit fraud. Tax collector Daryl Fernandez says they're targeting permits connected to deceased individuals as part of a new fraud detection initiative. He says they're cross-checking permits against official death records and enforcing verification protocols to prevent misuse. Fernandez says his office is committed to protecting residents, exposing abuse, and ensuring government accountability. Florida gas prices have been falling lately. AAA reports today's statewide average for a gallon of regular is $4.24, and that's 5 cents cheaper than yesterday's average. With Florida's news, I'm Tim Adkins.
From the O2.com Traffic Center. O2.com, the only business software you will need.
Going through St. Pete, you're going to see on 275 southbound at 54th Avenue North, off-ramp and on-ramp, both shut down with construction. Plan to use Gandy or 38th Avenue North as your alternate exits. Also further down southbound, 275 around mile marker 12 at the Skyway. Left lane shut down for the night with construction for the overnight hours. Also going to see roadwork affecting Broadway Avenue and 301 in Hillsborough County. Steve Foster, News Radio WFLA.
Happy Saturday, Tampa Bay. Tracking a muggier start to the day. Dry, though. And looking ahead to a toasty afternoon with a high of about 93 degrees, above average for this time of year here in downtown Tampa, with a 30% chance of some isolated showers and maybe some storms. We're tracking it winds out of the east and the rain developing along our sea breeze boundary, but because winds are a little on the weaker side, rain that does pop up this afternoon and evening will likely be mainly inland, looking at some greater rain coverage into your Sunday afternoon. I'm Active Henry meteorologist Juliana Mejia.
Taking out a terrorist. I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. U.S. and Nigerian forces have taken out ISIS's second-in-command globally, Abu Bilal al-Manuki. President Trump made the announcement on Truth Social, saying the joint military operation in Africa was flawlessly executed, meticulously planned, and very complex. He added, with his removal, ISIS's global operations are greatly diminished. President Trump recaps his China summit, discussing Taiwan and Iran on Special Report with Brett Baer. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has more.
President Trump addressing Beijing, calling Taiwan the most important issue with the U.S.
I will say this. I'm not looking to have somebody go independent and, we're supposed to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war. I'm not looking for that. I want them to cool down. I want China to cool down.
When asked about the U.S. approving billions of dollars of weapons sales to the island, the president telling Fox's Brett Baer.
Well, I haven't approved it yet. We're going to see what happens.
What are you looking for?
I may do it. I may not do it.
On Iran, the president noted China offered to help negotiate an end to the war and a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
The Long Island Railroad on strike.
Labor unions announcing a walkout late Friday after negotiations with the Metropolitan Transportation Authority broke down. No new negotiations have been scheduled.
If it were to become resolved, we would need time. It's contingent upon what time it would be settled. So it would be difficult for me at this point to say if it was settled at this time, we'd have service back at that time. But rest assured, we would look to get service back as soon as possible.
LARR President Robert Free, the union wants a 16% pay raise over 4 years. The MTA argues the union's demands would lead to fare hikes. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Benny Downey Jr. with Bartow Ford. Everyone has heard me speak about going the wrong way. But let me be clear. The wrong way means the wrong way of doing business. This includes gimmicks, games, and unfulfilled promises. Tactics you will never ever find at Bartow Ford. For over 73 years, we've been doing business the right way. So on your next purchase, don't go the wrong way. Come to Bartow Ford and see why we're different, and we prove it.
Listening to the free iHeart app. Thanks to Farrah and Farrah. It's never been easier to pin your opinions directly to your favorite show. With a red microphone and instant Farrah and Farrah. If you've been interested, get a Farrah by Tampa.
Puka, Bella, I'm sure you've noticed some changes.
Who are you talking to?
I'm just practicing for when I have to tell the dogs about the twins. Because
Be fine in the spacious third row seat. Can sleep peacefully thanks to the rear manual sunshade. Extra cargo space for strollers and dog beds.
I guess you're right.
Can we go to the hospital now? The contractions are getting closer.
The 3-row Lexus TX, because everyone should feel like the center of the universe. See your Wesley Chapel, Tampa Bay, Clearwater, and Sarasota Lexus dealers.
Ahoy, anglers. Captain Mike Anderson here from Real Animals. If you're looking for the ultimate fishing and boating adventure, look no further than Hubbard's Marina. Family owned and operated for nearly 100 years. Hubbard's Marina guarantees an excellent client experience and superior guest service. They're the original, longest running, and have been voted the best in the country 3 years in a row by USA Today. Whether it's deep sea fishing, dolphin watching, or sunset cruises, Hubbard's Marina has it all. Book your adventure today at hubbardsmarina.com. See you on the water.
The following is a commercial program paid for by Real Animals Fishing. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of WFLA AM, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Talking fishing this morning with my friend Captain Rick Gross of Fishy Business LLC in studio with me this morning. And we are going to be talking all things inshore, nearshore, offshore, and of course, we're going to talk about FWC and their infinite brilliance and this license change that we've been railing on this week. And hopefully we're going to hear from you as well. Remember, 1-800-969-9352. If you have a question, fishing report, you want to call and say hello, again, 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. And looking forward to a great day. It is a beautiful new moon weekend. So we should have some good tidal flows, some really awesome opportunities for fishing and catching near shore and offshore, and of course inshore too. And freshwater side of things, something's going on this morning, because more so than normal on my ride to the studio this morning, there was a lot of bass boats on the road. It was interesting. There must be some kind of tournament or something going on.
I haven't heard anything on the freshwater side.
Yeah.
But I know there is a tournament. It's not freshwater. There's a local tournament there at our place in Bradenton that has been going on, I think, for like 30-something years.
Wow.
And it's like
Crossweight.
Crossweight,
Yeah,
yes.
Crossweight's this weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm kind of glad I'm not on the water this weekend.
Yeah, because the Crossweight tournament is inshore and offshore. I didn't know it was inshore. Me and my offshore blinders, I thought the Crossweight tournament was only offshore.
Yeah, and it's interesting, this tournament, they let the offshore boats leave like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They start yesterday. This morning, the inshore division usually starts with a shotgun start first thing in the morning. And
that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. That's always neat watching all the boats take off. But when they originally started, it was combined. And when I fished it, it was combined. So the inshore guys were fishing against the offshore guys as well.
Wow.
And they just, the way they did the points and everything, you could compete. One of the very first ones, the guy that won it by catching Goliath grouper. And one of the other ones that had been won, a guy won it by catching black drum.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the very beginning. They've since then they've kind of broke it up where they have offshore, inshore, and then they have youth and ladies divisions and everything else. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. And so like the inshore guys would kind of pray for windy weather and stuff, so the offshore guys couldn't get out to all their favorite spots and stuff. But,
yeah, and some of the offshore fish that get weighed in at that tournament are always very impressive. They have a high level offshore team down there, and they attract the guys from the Keys, from Marco. They attract people from all over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then they do bring some billfish in every now and then. I mean, they don't bring them to the dock so much, but they do catch billfish, swordfish, and stuff like that. And the groupers that they get, the warsaws that they bring in sometimes. I don't know. How do you get that in the boat in the first place?
Yeah, it is a little bit of luck and a lot of preparation. It's pretty wild what you see pulled in, for sure.
Yeah.
But teams of people, for sure. And beautiful weather for it. It is absolutely gorgeous today, and tomorrow looks pretty darn good. We have potentially a little bit of wind tomorrow morning, but nothing crazy. And good moderate weather weekend, new moon, good moving water. Really everything's lining up for a beautiful weekend. To start the work week, it's a little bit more moderate, some 10 to 15s there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, wind-wise. And then calming down the second half of the work week. We are, again, it's a new moon weekend. It's a new moon today, I believe. So next weekend, we're going to be on that quarter moon. So as we move through this work week coming up, we are going to see those tides slow down. One thing to keep in mind this weekend, Pinellas County was making a big fuss about it, and it's made its rounds on social media. If you're not a coastal person, it's probably not as high on your radar, but we have some really big king tides forecasted for this weekend, like almost 3 foot above sea level. So they're talking about coastal flooding Saturday and Sunday around 11 a.m.-ish. So that's always interesting to me.
It is, and there's areas like Weeki Wachee and places like that it doesn't take much for flooding to happen there.
Yeah, no, these big tides when it's above about 2.6, 2.7, Madeira Beach floods. There's a large majority of Madeira Beach coastal neighborhoods that are inaccessible during those high tide times.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You come in and you'll come back to the boat ramp, and the actual ramp. The dock, the dock is underwater. I've cleaned fish a couple of times where you're ankle deep in water at the cleaning table.
That's amazing. So definitely some high tides this weekend, and that new moon should have lots of water moving. This weather update is brought to you by our friends over at Reese Windows and Doors. Remember, they are Florida's leading window and door company with over 50 years in business. They offer free installation on most windows and doors, and they install in just 6 weeks. They only use in-house installers, no freelance contractors, and their work comes with a double lifetime warranty, which means you never pay for a warranty when you sell your home, and that warranty will transfer to the new owners, adding value to your home. Visit reesewindows.com for more information. So definitely an exciting weekend with that big crossweight tournament, some good moving water, good weather. It's interesting. I was talking to Scott Moore, Captain Scott Moore, about this. We were talking about him right before we went live. It's a weird year with patterns, weather patterns. We are it's May 16th, so we're mid-May, and I don't know if I just don't pay close enough attention to it, but I asked Scott about this, and he said I was on track. It seems like by mid-May, I remember historically snook being pretty heavy into the passes already. And the other morning, I woke up a little early. I wasn't feeling quite right. I had a little limp going, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna skip my morning workout. I'm gonna go to work a little early, and I'm gonna soak some shrimp and try to catch me one of these snook. They should be around the dock by now. And in John's Pass, it's funny because like before sunrise, you can see the snook real active. They're up on the surface. They're feeding well. But once you get around sunrise, 20, 30 minutes before sunrise, it's like they just sink, and the activity almost stops. So you have to get there early, pre-dawn, to see that. So I was there early enough. It was 5 a.m., still real dark out there, and I walked the boardwalk, and I saw a couple snook, but it wasn't thick by any means. And there's not a lot of fish there.
Yeah, I've a lot of the guides have been talking about it where the snook fishing's, it's been good, but it's not what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they're kind of scattered, and I don't know what the difference is. One thing might be we just haven't had rain. We're in a pretty big drought.
And that's what Scott was mentioning is there's a lot of snook he felt were still pretty far back, leaving the rivers and creeks now.
Well,
and it's interesting because every year this comes up. Is it time? Is it length of day? Is it photo period? Is it water temperature? Is it time of year? What triggers those fish to move from the rivers to the passes and beaches? And now I'm thinking maybe rain has part of the conversation. It hasn't rained, so that means we haven't seen that big crab flush. We haven't seen all those shrimp pushed out of those creeks and rivers. So maybe those snook are hanging back there still because that's where all the bait is.
Well, the salinity, too, I think has probably got a lot to do with it. And then also the weather patterns that we've had, we haven't had rain, but especially like in March, I can remember the 1 week in March, it spiked. The temperatures were spiking, coming way up. And water temperature that weekend, that Sunday, was up to 74 degrees. 3 days later, it was 60 degrees.
Yeah.
It had just, and it just totally changed things around. It really messed up my spec fishing freshwater-wise this last year.
It was a tough year for them, huh?
Yes. And the problem with that is that when it happens during their spawning cycle, then that can affect the fishery
for years.
2-3 years down the road. You have a bad spawn or you don't have much of a, and their cycle's about a 3-year type of thing.
Yeah.
And you could have a bad cycle. Why is it not? It was great last year. Why is it not this year? Or why is it, and that's what happens with them. You have cycles where they can be messed up. But yeah, I remember an old timer years ago when we were talking about red fishing. This was a little bit different, but it was the same thing. You need to have the rain, pushes the fish. And this was years ago that he said this. And you need to have the rain to push the fish out of the back rivers and creeks and everything else. And I think that happens. And then length of day, temperature, it all is a factor. It's like a puzzle, like you're trying to put a puzzle together. Every year is a little different. What fish is going to be the outstanding fish for any given year? I remember years ago, one time it was black sea bass. I was catching black sea bass all over the place.
Man, they are so good eating.
We were catching them in the cast net when we were catching bait in the morning.
When I was a kid, back in my day, we used to catch black sea bass all the time near shore. When we were fishing that 20, 30, 40, 50-foot stuff, we'd catch black sea bass consistently, a handful every trip. We just don't see that anymore, but you see a lot of them still in the bay. It's good that we still have some of them, but man, that population near shore really got crushed.
When we had that green mussel invasion years ago, it seemed like we had a real big push of black sea bass then, too. I don't know what the reason was, but it seemed like we did have a big push of them then.
Some of the best tacos you can find. Man, when you fillet one of those black sea bass, the white meat quality is insane.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys stick around. We got a lot more show ahead, a lot more to talk about. And again, if you want to join the conversation, if you have a fishing question, you want to say hello, you got a fishing report, you have anything at all, give us a call, 1-800-969-9352. Real Animals Radio will be right back after
$1,000 could mean a week.
We caught sea bass one time, and it was like in the 80s. It was in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And it was trying to catch mackerel.
Yeah.
And I used these little nylon jigs. And we were like over some rocks off of Anna Maria. And we're trying to catch mackerel, and we started catching sea bass on those little jigs.
Really?
And they were the sea bass had the big hump on their head.
Hump heads.
Yeah. And we were catching, fairly shallow water. I said, I would have, and it lasted for a while, and we caught them. That year was really good. And then talking about getting boats and what year it was.
Yeah.
When I got my second privateer was 97. And when I bought that boat, it came up here to Johns Pass to get the boat.
Yeah.
And there was another guide, I don't know who it was, that was selling boats at the time, and he wanted to know if I had gotten into the Pompano. And I was like, that period in there, 90, 95, in the mid-90s, late 90s, we had a pretty good run of pompano where I was catching them on a fairly regular basis, and I was using little jigs, and I'd tip them with shrimp, and I said, yeah, you know, and it was nice in the wintertime. You're adding 6-8 pompano to your trip. And he said 6 or 8. He says, we caught 60 the other day. I said, 60?
Holy moly.
And it was the first I heard of Doc's jigs.
Wow.
He handed me Doc's jigs, and he said, you need to try these. And I said, oh, okay. And I didn't think about it that much, but I put it in the boat. We were catching pompano in all different parts of the bay. You just didn't know where they were going to show up. And we caught a couple, and I said, okay, I'll throw this thing. Threw it. And if you look at a Doc's jig, especially if it's just the jig itself,
yeah,
it's just metal. It's just lead painted. And I threw it, I think the fourth cast I caught a pompano. And, you know, it's a confidence thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Markham got me on that with a confidence thing just the one day that I took him. And he was, you know, switching lures and everything else, but he said that he'll ask guys, what'd you catch the fish on? And they would say, you know, like if you're a bass fisherman, we caught it on a purple cordell worm, you know, whatever. And he said, well, what else did you? He says, we caught it on a purple cord. That's the guy fishes with that worm.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and I find myself, like when I spec fish, I go to certain lures. You go to your confidence is what you go to.
Yeah. It's I talk about that a lot in the tackle shop too, is people are like, well, live shrimp, I don't want to keep a live shrimp alive. How do I use one of these lures? And it's like, well, the thing about lures is like it's almost the 102 level of fishing. If you don't know what you're doing saltwater fishing wise, it's really hard to just start using a lure because you're only as good as your input, right? Your output on a lure is only as good as your input. And if you don't have that confidence or that knowledge, you're not going to be confident in what the lure can do. You're not going to catch any fish with it.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
And even with the YouTube and all these other stuff, and you know, people can look at it, but until they actually do it, it's very different.
This is us. We're back. Having a good time with Captain Rick Rose of Fishy Business LLC in studio this morning. Again, myself, Captain Dylan Hubbard from Hubbard's Marina. Remember, if you want to call in and join the show, give us a shout at 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Affordable Roofing Systems. Whether you need a shingle, metal tile, or a flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for repairs or replacements. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, let Affordable Roofing Systems guide you through this important process. They are defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a professional approach to doing business. Call 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. So, we talked a little bit about what's going on now with the snook. The redfish-wise, what are you seeing with the redfish?
I think redfish, for me, it's a pressure thing.
Yeah.
I'm finding that we're using more cut bait than I ever used before, and they get comfortable up next to the bushes and the trees and stuff, and you have to wait them out. Too much pressure on redfish, and I mean, Ben has talked about this. I guess he fished with Captain Ben Marshall fished with another captain, and they were easing along, and Ben gets to kind of watch what's going on, and
because he's so tall.
Well, yeah,
I don't know in his own tower.
I don't know. Yeah, that's exactly right. But he was noticing how the fish fall off and the fish move away from even like a trolling motor, where you have to put your trolling motor. Redfish have always been a little bit more spooky, and they get in extremely shallow water. I use a push pole for them more. I mean, when I got my boat, the guys were like, well, they don't usually put push poles on these boats. I said, well, this one will have a push pole on it. I still use a push pole when I get up in real shallow water, and I just think that they have gotten even the pressure on the flats has moved these fish where if there's an outboard running, even at idle speed, and 4 strokes, you don't realize it until there's an old 2-stroke that somebody has that is running around, and you hear it and you can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 strokes are quiet.
Yeah.
But a 4-stroke can be 100 yards away on a flat, and you can see those fish getting nervous.
And they're 4 strokes quiet, but for the love of all things holy, people don't realize that gear case noise.
Yes.
If you go in or out of gear, oh my goodness, that click, you can hear that for miles underwater.
Exactly. But and then the other thing is like if you are setting up, if you are using a trolling motor, I tend to try to go with the wind, keep the trolling motor on the lower speeds. I learned this commercial fishing when I was trying to catch mullet with cast nets.
Mm-hmm.
And if you change the speed of the trolling motor, or if you turn the trolling motor off, like I'd be coming up on a nice knot of mullet that I want to get my net on. And I thought, okay, I'll turn the motor off and, let be real quiet. Well, you turn that motor off, you can see that school of fish starts to shimmer almost right away, and they know what's up. I had to take and leave the motor on, throw the net, flip the motor. I was using a handheld trolling motor.
Mm-hmm.
Flip the motor so that it's going away from where I threw the net, but don't change the speed of the motor. Just keep it going, throw the net, and flip it so you're moving away. If you turn the motor off or whatever, those fish almost like something's going on. Something changed. They know right away.
Change.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
interesting.
They know right away. And then the other thing.
What you just brought up something is I've always found it interesting. My dad was a commercial mullet guy for a long time, and I've noticed the people who know the water, the people who know the backwaters, the people who know the geography, topography, bathymetry, know the fish, man, a lot of times they're commercial mullet guys at one point in their life.
Yeah, and sometimes I got into it in the early 90s when they had done the net ban, and then it became more of a cast net thing, and I love to throw a cast net. I mean, and I think that's part of it. I just love to throw the cast net and stuff, and then it supplemented my fishing when I kind of slowed down in December when the mullet would be running. And the one time I went, and I had never done the commercial mullet thing, and we got on them and threw the net, and it was just total crazy. It was total crazy. And a lot of times you get a cold front, and I'd have a flap in the bathroom where the flap would start blowing, and you knew it was blowing. And I'd hear that flap, and I just want to pull the covers over my head, and I'd be like, fishing today is going to be tough. I don't want to go. That flap would start blowing, and I'd start twitching because I knew those mullet were running someplace, and I had to be on them. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the itch for sure.
That's exactly right.
That's funny. And then what's interesting about mullet fishing is when no one else is on the water, that's when the mullet guys are on the water.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
It's blowing 25, 30 out of the north. Mullet are dumping. Well, if you want to join the conversation, you have a question, fishing report, whatever, 1-800-969-9352. We got a lot to talk about this morning. Captain Rick Gross's brain here. Always enjoy chatting with him. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Real Animals Radio will be right back.
From the local Lexus dealers, WFLA News Desk.
And then you kind of stopped after.
I had my wife's cousin, so I just say he's my cousin. I spent 13 years with him on the skiff, running around with him for a long time. He was before time too, and he was kind of a bandit fisherman.
Most mullet guys are.
I looked at it in a total different light from when I first started looking at it. When with the mullet fishing thing, and gill nets and stuff, and when I got involved with it and started going to the fish house and stuff, there's a lot of guys that are great guys and they're conservation oriented too for the fishery.
Yeah.
And then you got bad apples.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some bad apples make it bad for everybody. And I look at it in a total different light as far as like the actual gill nets and how they made a living and what they did. And I couldn't get on the same page with some of it because I did see some of the damage that gill nets did, stop nets did, and stuff like that. But I looked at it totally different from two different points of view. And then the thing with 6a and how they, a lot of mullet fishermen in 6a, they just don't get it's totally like oil and water.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say it's more like death threats and
oh, I know.
It's crazy.
I know. It's changed so much. And Anna Maria's changed so much. Cortez, that whole area there has just changed so much. It's crazy. And I don't know if everybody knows it, but Justin Moore was big time into cast net and mullet. Was big time into it. Him and TJ Stewart were big time into doing the mullet fishing. All day, all night. And they were amazing. And you'd see those two, and they would catch fish especially early before the really big runs of fish would happen. They looked like a sprinkler head when they would get on fish. The way Justin would switch and TJ would switch, and it would cast a net, bring that net in, and the one guy would be shucking his net, and they're only catching like 2, 3, 4 fish at a time.
Yeah.
But they literally look
net,
like
throw a net.
Yeah, they
have
just
them all
kept
staged up.
And they would come in and they'd have 3,000 pounds of mullet, and nobody else would. I mean, like, how did you do that? And I would be watching them and say, yeah, well, I don't want to do that.
How'd you do that? Hard work.
Yes. And then Justin had to get out of it because he hurt his back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think he'd still be mullet fishing, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a little 19 Carolina skiff that was an older Carolina skiff, and it set real low to the water, which was perfect for me. And I had it set up where I could be a one-man show. And then I fished with my cousin forever. He kind of got a little bent when I got my own boat, but he was working for a construction company, and he was taking his vacation time to mullet fish. So he was getting paid. He was on vacation.
That's awesome.
If I don't catch fish, I don't make a paycheck.
Yeah. He was on paid vacation.
Yeah, and he worked really early, really late. Well, I guess it's really early, not really late, but he's used to being out in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, and 4 o'clock in the morning. And we're done at 1 o'clock. Well, I live by the river. I go down when the fish are running, they're running someplace. I did a lot of truck fishing.
Yeah.
Where you go from boat ramp to boat ramp or point to point where you can drive to. And it'd be in the afternoon, and there'd be balls of fish going out the river or whatever. And I'd call him up and I'd say, hey, John, you need to show up. The fish are going out the river. Oh, well, by the time I get there, they'll be gone. Oh, and I'm just like, okay. Can only stand so much of that. And I ended up finding an old Carolina skiff, fixed it up. Well, he got a little bent out of shape when I got my own boat. And I says, John, you got to understand, I've got to make money. And if those fish are running,
I can't take a paid vacation.
Well, he's vacationing,
but
he lived on the other side of the interstate. Or so by the time he'd get the boat and have to come. So if the fish were running early morning, we did great, but if they were running late afternoon, you weren't
on them.
A lot of times we weren't on them. Well, then I ended up getting my own boat, and I ended up all the backwater and all that kind of stuff, and went places and did things that I probably shouldn't have done with a 19-foot skiff.
Like going too far offshore, chasing them once they flush.
I called the fish house one time, and we didn't have much freeboard, and my bilge pump was going, and you got scales everywhere, so the bilge pump's not pumping near as much as it should be pumping, and the guy's saying, and I had a 70 horse on that, so I could have it revved up, and we're not doing 4 knots.
Whoa!
I mean, you're loaded with fish.
4,000
got
pounds.
ice and fish and everything else on the boat. Well, the most I ever had on a boat was about 4,000. And we only did that because where the fish ran, we were right next to the fish house.
Yeah.
We were right there by Longboat Pass.
17-foot Carolina skiff, and I never got into mullet fishing myself, luckily. But I loaded that thing down on many occasions. We used to do island parties, so I would ferry equipment out.
Yeah.
And one time we put like 2 pallets worth of wood on the boat, and man, I probably had about 2 inches.
Yeah.
One wrong wave, and I would have been over. We're back. Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning. We've got Captain Van Hubbard on the line. We're going to chat with him in just a second. But first, want to give a shout out to our friends over there at the Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant. The Friendly Fisherman at John's Pass is back under the management of the Hubbard family. The same great family that's been serving up the best fishing and dining experiences in Madeira Beach for nearly a century. Come rediscover the Friendly Fisherman today and taste the difference with the freshest seafood, improved menus, and the service you've come to expect from the Hubbard family. Enjoy unbeatable waterfront views, a welcoming atmosphere, and flavors straight from the Gulf. Locals and visitors alike, come see what's new today at the Friendly Fisherman. With that, we've got Captain Van Hubbard on the line. What's going on, Captain Van? How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm over that west wind, I can tell you that much.
I believe it. I believe it. It's definitely been a little interesting lately, but it looks like a beautiful weekend. We got that new moon firing off, too. Lots of moving water. You going to go chase some golden nuggets, some pompano?
Oh, I might try to, but I think tomorrow morning we're supposed to go offshore with some friends. But we had the world's richest tarpon tournament down here in Boca Graham this week on Wednesday and Thursday afternoon, and had a good outgoing tide.
Nice.
Didn't have a lot of fish, but the ones that were there were biting. The first day, 24 boats had 44 fish. So, you know, in 4 hours of fishing, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I tell you, that west wind, especially that northwest wind Thursday, hardened down and against that tide, it was not a fun place to be. But the action was good, and it was great. So that was all good. I was listening to Captain Rick there, and I didn't realize that he'd done mullet fishing too. But that was, and people have no idea what it's like to get into commercial fishing, and you don't get paid if you don't produce results.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a whole different mindset than that's what I liked about charter fishing. I knew I was going to get paid. That's why I got into it.
People ask me all the time, it's like, why don't you do tournaments? And I always jokingly respond is I like to get paid before I leave the dock.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the difference. The same thing with commercial fishing. It's you don't get paid unless you're producing fish.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It definitely gives you a different mindset. Go ahead.
Anyway, the everything is looking very good. They had that Ding Darling tournament yesterday out of down south, the Fort Myers area, and what a fiasco that was. But they did have some tarpon offshore, but those guys, I guess they were just too serious about it. They just were chasing the fish instead of fishing the fish. It's sure nice, though, to have for y'all to be doing this and for everything to be going on. And I've been trying to get together with Rick. I don't know when it'll work out, but I definitely, the more I listen, the more I feel a kindred spirit. And I do look forward to getting together. There's not many of us that have survived around here this long.
I get the thing about a legend, and I don't know when people start calling you legend, does that just mean that you're old? I don't know how that goes.
I think so. I think so.
No comment.
Well, and I think it means that we're survivors.
Yeah. It gets tougher and tougher. I mean, I feel like I may hang it up when I can't throw a cast net anymore. Is kind of where I feel. But I still enjoy it. I still love the water. You just can't get it out of it's part of your soul.
Mm-hmm.
The last of the Mohicans, the last of the hunter-gatherers, my friend.
Yeah, I think to your guys' earlier conversation, the whole legend, and if you're old, I think it speaks to perseverance too, though. You mentioned that Captain Van is just being able to change with the times and still persist through the changing times. It says a lot about a guide or a business or anything, really. You got to be able to provide a good quality product to be able to continue to be in operation and be around for sure.
You do a pretty good job of that yourself, sir.
Every day, trying to learn from the best here, I guess.
Hey, Van.
Well, your dad was a good example. Your grandfather, I had the pleasure of working with for about 3 years there, and he was a mighty special. He was hardcore, but he was mighty special, and you had to earn his respect. But once you got it, you were his friend, and it was there were special relationships.
Amen. Well, we appreciate it, Captain Van. Thanks for the phone call this morning, and good luck chasing those golden nuggets.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.
See you, buddy. Always a pleasure. We got Captain Travis Thompson from Winter Haven on the line. What's going on, Captain Travis? How are you, buddy?
What's happening, fellas? I just called in to talk mullet fishing.
Man, now all I can think about is smoked mullet. I'm going to have to go hit up Ted Peters today, probably. My daughter, she's 4, but when she was about 2 years old, we were hanging out, and someone brought in smoked mullet, and she sat there and picked mullet for an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
She loves it. So, I don't know. Might have to go get some smoked mullet now. It's definitely on the brain.
I actually learned to mullet fish like after duck hunts because like Rick was talking about, it was always this crappiest days, and you'd sit out there and you'd run your duck hunt, and then the mullet would be better. So I'd drop my clients off, grab a net, throw all my decoys out, and then go get a bunch of mullet.
There you go.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, smoke them up. That's smoked mullet. You cannot beat it.
You cannot beat it.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how these shows go because I remember calling in and talking to Mel Berman.
Mm-hmm.
And Mel Berman would have me on the show, but never came in the studio, so we were just doing it on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And the one time, here we're talking about mullet, and it just happens to be that's where the show kind of gone a little bit. But we had one time we were talking about catfish stings. Here, I'm wanting to talk about tarpon, snook, redfish, my fishing business and everything else. And somebody says, well, what do you do for a catfish sting? And the show went down that rabbit hole the whole show.
all I know is we did a safety thing with Captain Jim Fogel. We had a bunch of captains get together for like a safety thing at the Coast Guard squadron. And the answer if you got a stingray, if you got a jellyfish sting, everybody's like, yeah, you pee on it. You pee on it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that is never the answer. It's never the answer. So it's pretty funny that you brought that up. But Captain Travis, what are you giving us a shout about? What do you got to talk about this morning?
I didn't know if you guys were going to talk fishing licenses. I know you've been on the trot on that and watched the FWC meetings this week. I wasn't able to make it down there, but I watched them online and saw that was starting to get some traction in those circles.
Oh, man, my blood pressure is going up by the second. I am so furious about this license change that FWC did. I mean, FWC doesn't have the authority to change the license fee. That is legislatively, that's constitutionally, FWC does not have the power to change the license fee. So what they are doing, what this government organization is doing blatantly in front of all of us, and what really frustrates me is some people are saying, don't worry about it. It's cool. I'm okay with it. And no one should be okay with a government organization purposely subverting policy and purposely, blatantly going around what should be allowed. They're not allowed to change the license fee, and they are. What they have done is they've removed the option for people to buy a 3 or 7 day license if you're an out-of-state resident, and they've made the only convenient option an online annual license, and they're mandatorily tacking on lobster and snook. So now if you're an out-of-state resident, the only available option online is an annual license with lobster and snook tacked onto it. So now they have essentially increased their license fee. Instead of that $17 option for a 3-day temporary license, you have to buy this $70 option. And to make it worse, they are with a straight face saying, oh, it's to try to help. It's actually making it easier for people. That's their official statement. And when you talk to the upper echelon leadership at FWC, they're like, yeah, we're broke. We don't have any funding. The governor keeps giving away all these fishing licenses and giving everybody discounts, so we don't have enough funding. So leadership is saying they are out of money, and they have done this to increase their funds. So leadership is admitting to the fact that they have basically subverted policy, and they're trying to increase their license fees. That's wrong.
Well, and
no one should be okay with that.
Real quick, let me add in there a little bit, Dylan. Like, one, it is connected to when the governor does the lifetime license sales and they sell them at half off. Like, the idea there is you buy a license and then it's invested, and off the interest over the term of like the 35, 40, 50 years you would hunt and fish, that would accrue and actually pay more than if you bought a license every year. However, when he does half off licenses, which is a great PR move, it definitely impacts the budget. The other thing I want to clarify is when you're talking leadership, I want to be very clear. We're talking staff leadership, not commissioners.
Yes.
Because as we've gotten to commissioners on
100%.
this, they've been really receptive to having this conversation.
That is a great point, and I should have clarified. You're right. And a lot of people, when I'm talking about this, they're like, yeah, FW's commissioners, they're terrible. This doesn't have anything to do with the commissioners. This is outside and above the commissioners. Seemingly, according to that FWC commission meeting that just happened and the conversation that happened around the commission table, they seem as upset as I am about this whole thing.
And look, at the end of the day, we want FWC funded. They do it. I know people have mixed views, but like they do a really good job with our resources for the most part. We want them funded. We want them funded well. But let's handle this kind of in the open.
They burnt the bridge with me, bro.
Yeah, like what I'm talking about. Like they kind of hung us all out to dry, where we're just having to eat this, you know what, sandwich.
Yeah.
And like let's get this fixed and let's get it right, and let's like move forward differently than this in the future, because this is a bad look.
Yeah, and then other people are like, oh yeah, you should make it harder for tourists. Dude, tourism is the lifeblood of Florida. I mean, it is crazy. If we turned off tourism tomorrow, this state would crumble. And I mean, what, 60 to 65% of our economy is depending on tourists? I mean, a majority of our jobs are all depending on tourism. And then just the amount of tax, we don't have a state income tax because of tourism. So we need to make sure tourists are happy when they come here, and telling a tourist while they're on vacation that you have to go to the DMV to get your license is ridiculous. Yeah. And then the next thing someone says is, oh, you can buy your license at Walmart. Bro, you couldn't buy your license at Walmart. They made it impossible to buy your license at Walmart. However, in the last week and a half or so, they fixed that. FWC used your money, your taxpayer dollars, to help Walmart get incentivized to start selling licenses again. So yes, in the last 7 to 10 days, now you can buy a license at some select Walmarts, thanks to your taxpayer dollars making that happen.
Hey,
are you okay with that? No, we should have just sold them online again. What in the world?
The last thing I'll say, Dylan, is, you know, as this goes along, I don't think any of us are indifferent. If a license is $18 today and it needs to be $25, we're not indifferent to that conversation.
Exactly.
Right?
They should have done it the right way.
That's a conversation we're not having, and there's a right way to do that involving the legislature, and legislators, in my opinion, are willing to have that conversation. So this is just, man, it's BS. At the end of the day, it's BS. And I'm really hopeful the leadership, the upper echelon FWC and the commissioners are aware of it now and going to work to get it remedied pretty quickly.
I hope so, man. Thanks for the phone call, Captain Travis Thompson. We appreciate you, buddy.
All right, talk to y'all soon.
See you later, man. Definitely a pleasure to hear from Captain Travis. Got us all worked up. We're going to have to go to break. We'll be right back after this. Real Animals Radio. Don't go anywhere.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the...
Somebody needs to be in the studio to take your picture while you're going about
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Dylan looks like he's Italian right now.
Animated, talking with my hands. Dude, it's so annoying.
I did not
annoying.
realize all this. I just was like, I'm looking at it like, why didn't they just, just like what Scott was thinking. I said, it would have been so simple, but I guess that would have to be voted in.
So what Scott was saying and what you said before the show is, why didn't they just increase the price? They should have. That's the right way to do that. But they can't do that themselves. They have to get the legislation to do that. So they would have to work with their stakeholders and get the stakeholders to lobby legislators to be able to increase the fee. It's a lot easier for them to just subvert policy and force people to buy annual licenses on the website. It's wrong. What they did was wrong.
Why was it like an all of a sudden thing? I mean, why couldn't they have just, okay, this is what we want to do, and then...
Why couldn't they have had a conversation?
The next season they could do that. Yeah.
It makes no sense. And what's really frustrating is it happened right around an FWC commission meeting.
And then
we just had a commission meeting. You should have brought this up at a commission meeting. It should have been talked about in sunshine, on the record.
Something smells fishy. It does.
100%.
It's that smells fishy.
100%.
And I don't know that they even realize it. Their PR, they just shot themselves in the foot.
Exactly. And the people who actually cared, the people who actually might have spoke up and supported FWC, now are pissed.
Yeah, it's just like another can of worms with FWC is like the spraying part of it. I was listening to you guys. I whenever I can, I try to listen to the radio show. And I've kind of taken a different look where I want to stay back before I say anything. But and that's because of you guys. But the spraying part of it, I've got two things that I don't like about the spraying. One is it's like I used to deal with horticulture, and we sprayed a lot of these different chemicals, and basically it's almost the same type of chemical as Roundup. And Roundup is it's proven that Roundup does cause cancer. And if this is a generic form of Roundup that they're spraying into our water system, how can it's poison? I understand the thing with hydrilla, and hydrilla is it's not a native species, but since I've been alive, it's been part of Florida. I think the 50s, early 50s, late 40s are when we started having problems with hydrilla. But they answered it the other day. I thought, well, why can't we mechanically harvest it and get it out of there that way? It grows back.
Presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
We're back, Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio. Captain Dylan Hubbard here from Hubbard's Marina, and I got Captain Rick Gross from Fishy Business LLC in studio with me this morning. I want to give a shout out to our friends over at DocServe at Hubbard's Marina. Keeping our fleet running safely and smoothly is the backbone of everything we do, and that's why we partner with our friends over there at DocServe. Their mobile marine mechanic team is responsive, knowledgeable, and always right there when we need them. What really keeps us on the water is their monthly inspection program. DocServe gives us multiple sets of trained eyes on every one of our outboard vessels, helping us catch these small issues early and avoid major breakdowns down the road, giving us a peace of mind that is priceless. Their membership program even includes free diagnostics if something comes up. They are a premier mobile marine mechanic service in Tampa Bay, offering service on the great Yamaha outboards and even Mercury's if you made the wrong choice on your outboard purchase. And they even handle popular trolling motors, too. Reach them today at 813-807-7676 or visit them online at docserve.us to link up with our great team. We've got Captain Mike Perry on the line down there in Big Pine Key. What's going on, Captain Mike? How are you, buddy?
Hey, fellas. Hey, Rick. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. I didn't expect to be here today, but I love talking, so this is great.
It's good to have you. Thank you for coming.
Just for anybody who doesn't know, if Rick Gross isn't fishing, he's talking about fishing. He and I have many a conversation about fishing, whether it be in the Tampa Bay area or what I'm catching down in the Keys. And for all of you know, that's the guy who put the seed infection into me, and I took it from there. So he's like a brother to me, and I really appreciate everything he's done for me. So just want to get that out there. But the fishing in the Keys has been wonderful this week. We've had permit, cobia, mahi coming over the side, as many chicken mahi as you want, and some blackfin tuna mixed in. Like I said to the boys last Sunday, the wahoo's kind of more of a bycatch now. I truly believe they're in the northern Gulf, up around the rigs now.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Mark Feewoks up there. Facebook friends with him. They got a big one this past week.
There's been a couple. About 3 trips ago, we had a big dog come up to the back of the boat, circle once or twice, and then disappeared. So they're still sporadic around Central West Florida, I think.
Yeah, and the billfish have moved off a lot farther. You got to make 40 to 45 mile run to get into the billfish now, or sailfishing.
I really don't like you, Mike. A 40 or 50 mile run, that's a bad one, huh? That's every day in Central West Florida to get offshore.
I'm sorry that I make a 10 or 11 mile run and I'm in 220 to 260 foot of water.
It's a different world down there, that's for sure.
I'm going to get kicked off. Here real quick. Real quick on the licensure, and I have to be real careful because my next door neighbor in my backyard is an FWC officer, and they have the show on every weekend, both days at the Marina. And he walks down to the Marina before he goes on his duty. And he was eyeballing me this morning when he heard you talking about the licenses. And I kind of had a talk with him about it. And,
the officers are great. And we have a lot of really great FWC officers, and we need more of them.
Right.
That we are severely underfunded when it comes to FWC biologists. Our FWC biologists are some of the best. And nationwide, they're some of the most lowly paid. And also, our officers are really great, too, but we just don't have enough of them out there on the water. So I agree, we need funding for science, and we need funding for enforcement, but we have to go about that in the right way.
You just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say it has to be done in the right way, in the right fashion. I always hearken back to the Louisiana rule where if you're going on a charter boat in Louisiana, they don't purchase group licenses for their boats. You go to Louisiana, and part of planning your trip is you have to buy your own fishing license to go out with the charter captain.
And they're trying to do that here. They've tried the last couple of years to take away our charter license, so that way our charter guests would have to get licenses before coming out on the boat, which is another reason I'm so passionate about this, because if they do take that from us, I need to make sure my guests can get a license easily and don't have to go to the DMV to do so.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. Where I'm taking, 6 people, 6-7 people out on the boat, a lot easier for me to direct them to a certain place to get 6 or 7 licenses versus, especially during red snapper season, you're loaded. All those people have to have their own licenses, and it adds time because I'm sure you'd have to do a check. You'd have to add that into your pre-boarding routine is check everybody's licenses.
It would get a little tricky for sure. But we're up against the clock here. You got a few more seconds. What do you got for us? Anything else?
Nothing else other than, folks, if you want to take an inshore trip, there's none better than the guy sitting across from Dylan Hubbard. As far as I'm concerned, Captain Rick Gross taught me everything I know. Go catch fish before he decides it's time to retire. And every time I talk to him, he says, I don't know, and it gets me a little nervous because the times I have fun with Rick are the times that just he and I go out, and half the time is spent fishing and the other half is spent talking about fishing stories. So love you, Rick. You guys have a great day. God bless. Tight lines from the Florida Keys. Keep catching them.
See you, buddy. Thank you, Captain Mike. Thank you, Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Fishing.
Lives vicariously.
And what he's doing down there, I've never gone down there. He wants me to go down there when he gets his new boat. I'd really like to go down there because he really has been something else as far as his history. He's on his third wife.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a nurse and everything, but he's put all his chips in for this, what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's had some things fall into place and stuff, but he's 10 years younger than me, but I swear he looks like he's 10 or 15 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And he, going through a bunch of marriages can be tough.
Yeah.
And then dealing with,
living in the Keys can be tough.
Oh yeah. I say that I would probably, if I had not gotten married, I would end up in the Keys.
Yeah.
But when you go on the Keys and then you actually realize where you're, go on vacation, you're on a rock. I mean, you're basically a rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that water's everywhere, but sometimes I don't necessarily want to be like that little spot on a rock.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, but and then when I go down there a lot of times, it's all vacation. It's not like you're working there day in and day out.
Yeah.
I think that would be very different too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's put all in on that. He started fishing with me when I think he was 16 or 17.
Wow.
And I didn't know where he could get the money to go on charter because he went with me a lot. And it was nice because it was just him.
Nice.
And I could try and do different things, and it was kind of cool. And I don't know, the fisheries changed over the years. Cobia don't seem to be. Maybe they are, and I'm just not seeing them as much because there's so many other boats out there, and they get on them.
I don't think cobia is as good as it once was. Personally.
No, on the flats,
offshore either.
I had different markers and stuff that they would be on, and had found this one marker that was in the bay that there was a broken piece on or whatever, but found out that there were cobia on it because I was catching bait on it, and cobia followed my net up.
Oh wow!
And started realizing there were cobia there, and we'd go over there and fish them. Well, I knew there were cobia there. I picked Mike up. I never had a bait caster on the boat before. He goes, he's looking, and immediately he's like drilling me. Why is that on there? Why is this? It had it would look like a fluoro jig now, type of thing, where you have a jig, about a 2-ounce white jig, and then you put a red trailer on or something like that. I said, well, we'll see if what's there. We'll see if it happens or whatever. And we went over there, and he couldn't cast the bait caster, so I cast it and flipped around in there. I hooked up with one right away and handed him the pole, and his eyes got real big. And it was a decent fish, but it wasn't a keeper. But he'd never caught a cobia before.
Yeah.
I said, well, that's not really the one I'm looking for. He got back in there and threw again, and he hooked up. And I don't know how big the fish was, but my box on the Aquasport I had opened up. We could just fit it in the box that he got. And he talks about that forever, and that was like when he was a kid, you did things right, and it's a fish story. And I've got some other guys that the guy hasn't fished with me in years. He's a big time into construction and stuff, and he's offered me tickets and stuff. I got to go to Raymond James Stadium and watch the Bucks when they made their Super Bowl run on Monday night, and Madden was doing the talk and everything. He was up above us. My oldest son was like, that's Madden up there, because was big time in the video games with Madden and everything. And he calls in and he says, he doesn't call, he sends me stuff through Facebook. He hasn't been on a boat in years, but he says, I
still tell them stories.
Oh, he tells those stories. And that's what you're selling as a guide. You're selling experiences.
It was an amazing period of time. President Xi's an incredible guy. Got along, made a lot of great trade deals, including over 200 planes from Boeing.
The president there talking about the agreement he says China has made to buy about 450 GE aerospace engines.
That's Fox's Alexandria Hoff. He's getting a new trial, but it comes with a risk for former South Carolina lawyer Alex Murdaugh. The state's attorney general announced yesterday his office could seek the death penalty. Murdaugh will be retried for the murder of his wife and adult son. The court ordered a new trial citing jury tampering. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Benny Jr. with Bartow Ford. Everyone has heard me speak about going the wrong way. But let me be clear. The wrong way means the wrong way of doing business. This includes gimmicks, games, and unfulfilled promises. Tactics you will never ever find at Bartow Ford. For over 73 years, we've been doing business the right way. So on your next purchase, don't go the wrong way. Come to Bartow Ford and see why we're different. And we prove it.
Avoid all the headaches of a traditional home sale and move on your timeline with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. No showings, no open houses, just a simple, stress-free way to sell your home. It's Ryan Gorman here. Selling your home can be overwhelming. That's why who you work with matters. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate can help you sell your home hassle-free without the stress of putting your home on the market. Mark Spain Real Estate's been in business for 30 years, and they know what matters most to their clients, a quick sale and maximum profit. This is what one of their satisfied clients, Chris, said. Selling our 16-year-old home was quick thanks to the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. We avoided the stress of showings, constant cleaning, and negotiations. Their guaranteed offer was beyond what we were hoping for, and you could be next. Mark Spain Real Estate is the #1 most reviewed real estate company in the U.S. with over 13,000 five-star reviews. Trust them to sell your home fast and for top dollar. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Ahoy, anglers. Captain Mike Anderson here from Real Animals. If you're looking for the ultimate fishing and boating adventure, look no further than Hubbard's Marina. Family owned and operated for nearly 100 years. Hubbard's Marina guarantees an excellent client experience and superior guest service. They're the original, longest running, and have been voted the best in the country 3 years in a row by USA Today. Whether it's deep sea fishing, dolphin watching, or sunset cruises, Hubbard's Marina has it all. Book your adventure today at hubbardsmarina.com. See you on the water.
The following is a commercial program paid for by Real Animals Fishing. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of WFLA AM, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning. Want to give a shout out to our friends over there at Affordable Roofing Systems. Whether you need a shingle, metal tile, or a flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for that repair or replacement. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, let Affordable Roofing Systems guide you through this important process. They are defined by integrity, respect, and honesty. And they have a professional approach to doing business. Call them today at 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Also, I want to quickly go over a few upcoming events. Tomorrow night, we have our live stream show, Off the Hook with Captain Hubbard, tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m., live on the Hubbard's Marina and Real Animals Facebook and Hubbard's Marina YouTube channel. We're giving away $1,500 in free trips. All you have to do is tune in and join the show again tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. And then upcoming May 26th, every 4th Tuesday of the month, we have OCC Roadhouse event. It's going to be a good time. Again, May 26th. We got Bull Bay rods to give away. We got Engel coolers to give away. We got Real Animals and Hubbard's Marina swag. It's going to be a great time. So join us again, May 26th, OCC Roadhouse, 7 p.m. Tomorrow night, live show, 7:30 p.m. All right, with that, we've got Free from Minnesota on the line. And then after that, we're going to get to our Captain Jim Fogle with our Visit St. Pete Clearwater Safe Boating Tip of the Week. So first things first, Free from Minnesota, what's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Doing well, my friend. Another day in paradise. What do you got for us?
Yes. Anyway, with regards to the out-of-state fishing license, I couldn't agree with you gentlemen more. Last month, my family and I, my son, my daughter-in-law, 2 grandkids, we flew down like we normally do.
Yeah.
And I could not believe the hassle, to buy just a measly 3-day out-of-state fishing license.
It's ridiculous.
Having to travel to the DMV and going to the DMV, it was like we're staying near Johns Pass. We had to drive almost 15 miles to get to a DMV.
Yep.
We had to wait for about 2 hours because I've never seen a DMV that is that crowded or congested. Once we got there, it wasn't that bad. The gentleman took great care of us. I got my freshwater and saltwater pass for 3 days. It's $34. Can't complain about the price, but it's the convenience. And you had mentioned during the show that the state did change its mind, but you also stated that Florida gets 60% of its revenue from tourism.
Yep.
If you do it like we do in Minnesota or Wisconsin or most other states, is allow retailers to sell it or a bait shop.
They do in our area, too. They allow retailers to sell them. The problem was a couple weeks ago, the only places that sold them were a select few retailers. And the problem in the state of Florida is, that's what this guy at FWC, when I was talking to him early on, they were like, well, I mean, an easy solution to this, Mr. Hubbard, is for you to start selling licenses in your store. And I respectfully told him some select words I can't repeat on the radio. But the only way for me to sell a license as a tackle shop owner is you have to buy a special computer, you have to buy a new printer to print the licenses, then you have to start a new bank account. The state has to be an authorized user on your bank account. The state has to have complete access to that bank account. Then you have to train your staff on how to sell licenses. Then the worst part is every staff member that handles that computer to sell licenses has to have a $100,000 bond. So you have to have bonded employees. And then the income off a transaction is 50 cents. What incentive? What incentive is?
There's no incentive.
And then if it's a phone
with
call, it's a $5 license fee. All right, so cool, $5 per license, but still, that doesn't cover the $100,000 bond, the cost of the hardware. And then if you're a decent tackle shop doing volume, that's going to detract. You're going to have to pay someone hourly to stand there and sell licenses, and you would make more money doing something else. It's not the answer. It's not the answer. The answer is make it available back online, period. That's
exactly. And then the other thing is, if the state realizes when you get an out-of-stater like me who loves to fish, when you have grandchildren, watching your grandkid catch their first fish, it's priceless.
And that memory, you tie it to Florida, and you want to come back to Florida for that reason.
Exactly, because there's nothing worse than, and I made this mistake, is taking my 12-year-old out on a launch who's not, and no offense to Hubbard, because I've done this before, for first-time fishing, and, they're not ready for the motion of the ocean and stuff like that. And, yeah, it's fun for them to catch fish, but they get, sometimes they get a little seasick. But when you take a grandchild out and you're fishing from shore or one of the canals and you got a Sadiki rig and they just plop it in and bam, they're catching small fish and they're happy as heck.
Yep.
And now you've got that kid hooked. And by the time that they're 8 or 12, you can take them out on a launch. And then later on, when they're going to really appreciate it, you can take them on an actual private charter.
Amen.
Or maybe one of those 39 or 40-hour
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate the phone call, my friend. Couldn't agree with you more, and thank you for adding to the conversation this morning.
Yep. Thank you for the great show.
I
Take
appreciate
care.
it. See you, buddy. Definitely appreciate hearing from you guys. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 is the phone number if you want to call and join the show. We've got Captain Jim Fogel with our safe boating tip of the week, our Visit St. Pete Clearwater safe boating tip of the week. What's going on, Captain Jim? How are you, buddy?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good show. Thank you, guys. Got a couple things here. 3 shout-outs. One, to the Air Force Jolly Green Helicopter Group. There was a rescue wing out of Patrick Space Force working out in the Bahamas, and this past week, a plane went down with 11 people on it, and the Jolly Green Giant pulled them out of the water.
Whoa.
And brought them to safety. So wasn't their job, wasn't their territory, but they heard the Mayday, and they went to answer
That's cool.
the problem. So
Yeah, I didn't realize we had Coast Guard bases in the Bahamas. My jiu-jitsu coach is a rescue swimmer for the Coast Guard, and he's down in like the Abacos or something on a deployment.
job, yeah.
I know, right? His wife was telling me about it. I was like, oh, yeah, it sounds like he's going to be a real rough deployment there.
All right. My next one was to Lee County. A sheriff's deputy down there saw 3 little kids swimming out of Lover's Key State Park, and they got caught in a rip current. Deputy grabbed some life jackets, jumped in the water, and brought all 3 back to safety.
Wow.
You know, above and beyond. That's good. And our guys here at Coast Guard Air Station Clearwater went out over 100 miles to rescue a captain who had evidently cut or torn his hand up real bad.
Wow.
While hauling line 122 miles west of Long Key.
Wow.
And that's a long way, you know. And especially depending on the weather. But anyway, they rescued him, pulled him in, and brought him back to safety and to the hospital.
Amazing.
So, you know, make sure you've got some way to communicate if you get in trouble.
Yep.
You know, sometimes especially guys that only go out like once a week or something, they sit around for days, you know, going over exactly what tackle they're going to use and how they're going to get the bait and where they're going to get the bait and make sure everything's, you know, the boat's squared away and everything. And then they don't think about what's going to happen if it hits the fan out there.
Yeah. I got a new Garmin smartwatch, man, and this thing has the InReach built into it, and it's a personal it's a EPIRB as well. Crazy. In a watch.
Yeah.
Today's world, man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're just a whiz kid now, you know.
I guess.
And last but not least, I got one notice here for anybody coming down to Florida in a boat as of January 1. If you're going to stay anchored in Florida waters for more than 14 days, you need a permit. Excuse me. It's free, and you can get it online, allegedly. But
for
you
now.
need to apply. Yeah, I didn't want to go there. But yeah, you do need to get that permit. If you're found in not having a permit, they're going to start fining you, and eventually they can tow your boat. Now,
interesting.
Now, as a personal aside, up until the last couple of years, I've been going to Louisiana fishing every year. And it takes like 3 minutes on the phone, and they actually keep some of your information. So you don't, you just kind of confirm some of it if you've been in the system before.
Yeah.
And bam, you got a license.
Yeah, FWC used to have a phone service. They discontinued that a long time ago, and then it was you could only buy a license online. Now they've discontinued that too. It's really silly.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. All right, guys, keep up the good work for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete. Jim Fogel, be safe out there.
We appreciate you, Captain Jim. Thank you, my friend. Visit St. Pete Clearwater Safe Boating Tip of the Week. Always appreciate Captain Jim. We got Angel from Polk County on the other side. We've also got the Hall of Fame. Don't go anywhere. Real Animals Radio will be right back after this.
Groceries, gas, holiday shopping, or just extra
bathroom real quick.
Well, looks like we might get some rain this week.
Maybe. Hopefully we'll get some water flowing, some fish moving.
Is Van Hubbard family in some way?
Cousin by choice. No, not family.
Cousin by choice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he used to work with my grandfather back when Hubbard's was at Pass a Grill. He was a mate for Bobby Buswell, who was one of my grandfather's like original captains that worked off Hubbard's Passport Marina, is what it was called back in the day. So he's just been a family friend forever.
He's been trying to reach out to me a little bit, and it's kind of strange him calling me and reaching out to me, and he feels like, I guess we're kind of like we've never really gotten together, but we're kind of on the same page with stuff.
Well, you guys remind me of each other.
And I think it was your grandfather, was he working with Ernie Lee?
Mm-hmm.
And it was breakfast.
Actually, to answer your question, I'm not sure if it's Ernie Lee or Salty Saul, one of the two. Well, I've heard other people have said one or the other. I'm not sure.
I think it was because I used to send fishing reports, and Ernie Lee was getting older, and he was even early for me, but it was some way that I could do fishing reports and stuff. And I believe your grandfather he read some of my fishing reports, and Ernie Lee used to read them. But he was getting older, so I think your grandfather kind of took over for that.
Yeah, my grandfather did the morning fishing reports for Fox 13, which was then Big 13. He did it 5 days a week, and he would drive over there every morning. Yeah. So he would leave the house and drive over there and be in studio 5 days a week. And when Russell Rhodes started at Big 13, my grandfather was still going there every day. So they kind of became friends when Russell was just getting started and he was young. So he liked my grandfather, and that's what opened the door for me, because when back in 2019, Russell and the whole crew was down in Johns Pass doing like a story, and I was just hanging out with him and kind of climbing on and trying to talk to him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, your grandfather was a cool dude. We should do something like that again. And I was like, yeah, we should. And that's how it started.
We're back, Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning. I want to give
a shout out to our friends over there at the Friendly Fisherman at John's Pass. It's back under the management of the Hubbard family. The same family serving up the best fishing and dining experiences in the Deer Beach for nearly a century. Come rediscover the Friendly Fisherman and taste the difference with the freshest seafood, improved menus, and the service you've come to expect from the Hubbard family. Enjoy unbeatable waterfront views, a welcoming atmosphere, and flavors straight from the Gulf. Locals and visitors, come see what's new today at the Friendly Fisherman. Also, reminder, we've got a live show tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m., live on the Real Animals in Hubbard's Marina Facebook and the Hubbard's Marina YouTube, giving away $1,500 in free trips. All you have to do is tune in and join us. We also have the OCC Roadhouse in-person event May 26th, Tuesday, May 26th, 7 p.m. So make sure you write both of those events down, and hopefully we'll see you out there. With that, we want to get to our callers. We've got Angel from Polk County on the line. What's going on, Angel? How are you?
Hey, Captain Dylan. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I thought that was you. How are you? Everything going well?
I'm doing. Oh, I'm pissed.
Okay.
Thank
You and me
you,
both.
Captain Travis Thompson, for
Yeah.
bringing the FWC, because I posted in the chat we need to have this discussion. It didn't just affect our tourism and our people coming in from out of state. It affected my family as well.
Yeah.
I have a granddaughter that does not have a driver's license. My grandson came in from the Marines. We decided to do a quick, on-the-spot freshwater fishing trip. Needed to get her a temporary fishing license because it had expired just for that trip, and we could not do it. And they wanted her to have a driver's license. Not all families allow their teens to get driver's license if they cannot do what they're expected to do at home. So we need to get this fixed. And FWC saying, oh, they haven't heard complaints. I've blown them up about it.
And that was the most frustrating
yeah.
thing. So Angel just brought up a point that I was talking about on social media, is I finally got to like the guy at FWC, like the guy, and had a conversation with him. And this dude had the audacity to tell me that he was like, well, we really haven't heard very many people complain about this. Most people that I've talked to are actually happy we did this. That's what this dude had the audacity to tell me on the phone. It was so frustrating. And luckily, I was doing my breathing exercises and didn't just totally come unglued and tell him what I really thought. But, man, it's crazy. And it was funny. He even said, I know you do a radio show. So he knew I was going to light him up on the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have to think about Captain Dylan's posture when addressing these morons. The next thing is the hydrilla poisoning. That is affecting our fresh water, which also drains into our ocean. We need to stop doing that, and we've got to come together to get a different way. Like Rick Ross, Captain Rick Ross said, we need to be able to clear it out manually instead of using this poison.
Yeah.
Because it's affecting the water, it's affecting the fish, and that's not a good thing. The last thing is some Nimrod turned the ads on so that we couldn't hear you two captains talking.
Yeah, that was just my fault. I forgot to switch the brake mics on one of the commercial breaks there, so that was my bad. I even have a nice little fancy sign here to remind myself to change the brake lights, but sometimes I forget, so my bad, Angel.
All right.
Thank
you. Well, I wanted to keep it short because I want to hear Lisa. I hope you gentlemen have a great day and great show. Thank you, Captain Dylan.
Thank
Later.
you. Thanks for calling. We appreciate you. Remember, if you want to join the show, you can give us a call at 1-800-969-9352. Now, you're not supposed to keep the Hall of Famer on hold, but I'm sorry, Lisa. We got a commercial break here. We are going to get to you right after this. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk to Captain Lisa Fitzgerald more about the 6a-8a Star Tournament and all the great things that are coming up. So, Real Animals Radio will be right back after this.
Also, I didn't realize this. until I started looking into Panisofsky because I wanted to fish Lake Panisofsky. I didn't realize Panisofsky is like the headwaters to one of the rivers there, and it's spring fed.
Yeah.
So the water comes in. Well, one of the things that, because I looked at the history of it, some of the stuff is I'll read that stuff. I've always kind of been fascinated with that stuff.
And that's the thing with this whole spraying deal is people need to do the research, because it's really easy to say, oh, spraying is poison, you're killing our waters, stop spraying. But if you do the research, like I talked to the scientists, like I did my own research. I talked to Travis. I had Travis on the show. We sat here and did a podcast. I looked into it. I talked to like the guy at WFLA Extension, and dude, I have never experienced the level of hatred and vile just outpouring. Like I had death threats. Like it was crazy.
For what?
The spraying people are wild. So when it comes to the whole spraying conversation, I stay out of it, because it doesn't matter what the truth is, whether the truth is somewhere in the middle. I mean, me personally, I don't take medications. I don't think pumping chemicals into your body or our environment is a good idea. But there's somewhere in the middle that you have to fall, because you have to be able to control these non-native invasive plants.
Well, the thing that they had there at Panisofsky was where that river goes down, and they've got homes there, and they've got several fish camps and stuff that were there and stuff like that. But the hydrilla got so thick that the water couldn't go down through the river. Wow. So now it was expanding and flooding.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to go in there, and they used the manual stuff to take it, but they had to spray the heck out of it to get that river so it would flow again, because otherwise it was just going to flood the whole. So it's got a ton of things going on with it. The problem I have with the other thing with when they do the spraying, and they spray the hydrilla and it dies.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of it where it dies, that stuff just goes to the bottom.
Yeah, creates some muck.
And it makes muck. And it's in, like at Kissimmee, it's muck in spawning areas where the fish spawn. I mean, and then there's people that have got fishermen get totally upset about that. And then you'll see guys, and of course it's on social media all over the place, where they'll take a net and they'll dip it down underneath there and bring up what's actually on the bottom after they do all that spraying. And I guess it's really, I don't know, it's not 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's kind of like the devil and having to deal with it in order to keep the weeds down.
Yeah, because if you just stop spraying tomorrow, the inland water systems would go to hell in a handbasket really fast.
It's just going to be jammed up because that stuff won't quit until it completely
overtakes the pond. So it's a really challenging, nuanced issue. And like I said, I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. But it's the challenge today is everybody's so divided. Red, blue, white, yellow, red, black, and it's spraying, not spraying. And you can't be spraying or not spraying. There has to be some, like I said, somewhere in the middle.
Well, I've kind of seen it personally from being on the lakes and everything. And when the one lake in particular is the biggest lake in Lakeland, Lake Parker. They went in and sprayed that, and it looked like they just burnt everything. I mean, it spray the cattails. Why are we spraying cattails? Why are we spraying all this other stuff that's up there? It's just like, it just looked like someone had just taken and just burnt the lake. And I was just like, ugh. And then you're fishing in that, and and they're spraying poison, and it's like, I don't know if it matters so much with me being older to eat those fish as it accumulates or whatever.
You've had your kids.
Exactly right.
Yeah, that's funny.
But you're right, and I have seen it. They do have to spray because they can't just ban. And they've got manual. They're big. They look like tractors on the water with these big wheels and everything. I've seen it at East Topoga. I've seen it. We saw it on Lake Tarpon. Ben and I were fishing Lake Tarpon. They have these big, huge mechanical. It's too bad we can't do something with hydrilla. I mean, at one time, I think they were trying to make it like a cattle feed or something like that. It would have been great if they could have done that, but you apparently can't harvest it fast enough.
Yeah. Grows so fast. We're back, Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning. We got Captain Rick Gross from Fishy Business LLC in studio with me this morning. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Dock Serve. Remember, at Hubbard's Marina, keeping our fleet running safely and smoothly is the backbone of everything we do. That's why we partner with Dock Serve. Their mobile marine mechanic team is responsive, knowledgeable, and always right there when we need them. And what really keeps us on the water is their monthly inspection program that also includes free diagnostics if something comes up. DocServe helps keep Hubbard's Marina operating at the highest level so we can focus on giving the best experience on the water. They are a premier mobile marine mechanics service, offering Tampa Bay area service on Yamaha and Mercury outboards. Plus, they can handle marine electronics and even popular trolling motors too. Give them a call at 813-807-7676 or visit them online at docserve.us to link up with our great team. With that, we've got our friend Captain Eliza Fitzgerald, the Hall of Famer herself, on the line. Apologize for putting you on hold this morning.
No, that's okay. I get to enjoy a great cup of coffee. So thank you.
How are you?
And I'm lovely. I'm up in the beautiful town of Brooksville at the Florida Cracker Bourbon Bar. Not having bourbon in my coffee, mind you.
That's a wrong choice, but go ahead.
I know. I put rum in mine.
There it is.
It's called the Pirate's Coffee.
Amen.
Anyway, there we go. We're running a lovely tournament up here for the health hospice up here, and the acronym, Hospice and Youth Scholarship. So we just lovely day. I just wanted to see if you had received your official identifiers for this. Okay, making sure you had them.
I got my 6a-8a official identifiers. Now I have one in my tackle box, in my truck, my wife's truck. I've got one at the house. I've got them strategically spread out, so I know when I'm fishing with my son that we're going to have one of those within arm's reach, because this is exciting this year. It's ages 6 through 17, I believe. And my son is 6 years old, so we're going to go hard after this, Lisa, and looking forward to it.
It is exciting. There's $100,000 in college scholarships. The scholarship division is presented by the Guy Harvey Foundation and Realtree Fishing. Those are the two $25,000 scholarships, and then there are multiple $5,000 scholarships that youth can win. Awesome. It is very, very exciting. And then teens ages 13 through 17 have a shot at winning a brand new E16 Carolina skiff with a 75 horsepower Yamaha, a Minn Kota trolling motor on the front, a power pole. I mean, what a boat for a first-time boat for a youth. And then the second place drawing. Go ahead. What?
My first boat was a 17-foot Carolina skiff with a 40, and the motor was like 75 years old. It broke down every time I went fishing, and taught me a lot about motors. Yeah. Didn't have a trolling motor.
I find that the different styles of youth have different excitement levels. Mm-hmm. And the kids are excited about the Carolina skiff, but when I tell them that we have an LT25 custom Ginu, a lot of those kids who are skinny water aficionados, they go ape.
Yeah,
they love the fact that we have the custom Ginu 25 Yamaha on it. We have a trolling motor on the bow, and we have a power pole micro sitting on the transom. I mean, what kind of, these
I'm
kids
ready.
should be out there fishing all summer long, any saltwater fish, and it's only $20.
Yeah.
$20.
Can't beat it.
Hey, Lisa, I think I identify as a 6-year-old or 7-year-old. I'll get that 25 GNU.
I know, me too.
Well, I'm glad you identify as a youth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We all do, I think.
Yep.
I was going to ask you, Dylan,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a specific trip where we might say, hey, on this day or this over the summer, we're just going to do nothing but kids on this trip, and then all their fish that they catch are going to be able to be entered in Star. We should set up something like that.
I love it. Let's do it. We can definitely do that. We're doing this whole kids fishing kids fishing YouTube series right now, and we started on the dock with sabiki rigs, and then we've kind of evolved into sheep's head, and then just most recently we did a half-day trip. So we're kind of working our ways up slowly, just all about focusing on empowering parents to have the knowledge and the confidence to go out and take their kids, because we hear so often it's like, I want to take my kid fishing, but I don't know what to do, and we go out fishing, we don't catch anything. So that's what this YouTube channel playlist is focused on, is trying to help parents feel confident to take their kid out fishing, because more parents need to do it, but it's definitely it can be intimidating.
I try to remind people in today's society, and it's a shame, but most of the time when there's a divided family, a divorced family, the mother has the responsibility of the kids and what are they going to do. And oftentimes moms aren't real comfortable taking their kids out fishing.
Yeah.
So if this situation where they could come onto a big boat and have someone there, we could get our volunteers from 6a-8a to come out and help them tie their lines.
I love it.
Do their. I think it would be. We should pick a date over the summer and try and put something together like that.
I'm calling you this week. Let's do it.
Yep, call me this week. We'll put it together. There are so many great ways for kids to win. I'm equally as disappointed in our FWC. This is from a personal standpoint, not from a professional standpoint.
Smart.
I have friends that come down to fish with me.
Yep.
And when we have to go by the office, and if it, goodness gracious, it takes forever to get them their licenses. I don't know.
Not
I don't
good.
know what anyone was thinking.
Yeah, someone needs to be held accountable for sure. Couldn't agree more.
I know it's an issue. That's something I brought up myself. But holy cow! And then we've got to find a way to make it more accessible for everybody. And to do this is not increasing our accessibility. So.
Amen.
That's just my 2 cents, and I'm looking forward to that call this week. I hope that we can get people registered for the STAR competition. I do want to remind all the adults, the big kids out there, it is not STAR available to them, but there is another tournament called the Lots of Spots tournament, and they can go through iAngler and get involved in that. It's all summer long. There's $25,000 in prizes. Catch a redfish with multiple spots and win some really cool stuff.
That's awesome. We appreciate it, Captain
All right.
Lisa.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for all you do for our industry.
Yeah, we appreciate you as well.
See you,
Thank
Captain
you.
Rick.
Thank you.
See ya. Definitely frustrating situation as well. It's good to hear Lisa is feeling that frustration too. I just wish we had more advocacy groups involved helping fight this fight. It's crazy. All right, Donald from Lutz on the line. What's going on, Donald? How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, Captain Rick. How
Hey,
you guys
Donald.
doing?
I was wondering you hadn't called in yet. I was like, is the record going to be? Is something happening? What's going on?
Starting to get nervous.
Well, I got my 2 buddies, so we're going fishing right now.
Nice.
So they came. My one buddy came in from Melbourne, and his brother. We've been friends since 1977. So every year we get together and do some fishing.
You got a beautiful day for it. You got great tides too. It should be good.
Oh yeah.
should be a great time today out there. And and next Saturday I've got my Dawson outing. We're at Fort DeSoto, the beach area, right by Tampa Bay Watch.
Nice.
And so that's going to be great too. So should be some good tides, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Some good pompano action in there. I love Bunce's Pass. It's some good fishy area for sure. What are you cooking?
Yes. My normal cheeseburgers, hot dogs, brats, and andouille sausage. I'm doing lately too. So,
awesome.
Yep.
Sounds like a good time for sure.
It is. And waiting to hear from CCA when the tournament opens up for the memorial for Captain Richard Seward, the CCA All Release. So as soon as I get an email from Niles and saying tournament's open, I'll be setting us all up for that. So I'm excited for that. And I appreciate that, Captain Rick.
Oh, I enjoy it. I really enjoy that day. That's fun.
Yes. It really is a lot of fun. It's a special day, and I get to hang out with two of my new buddies. So it's like it's awesome.
That's you, Donald, and Captain Mike Perry, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What a team. I love it.
I did find out, Donald, that the world record speckled trout was caught on a red and white Zero Spook. And it's like 37 inches.
Oh, my goodness.
Speckled trout. So
that would be amazing.
17 pounds. I think it was 17 and a half pounds.
That's the world record?
World record, yeah.
That's an amazing fish.
I think I'm going to go with a hard bait this year, like a suspending plug. I'm going to do a little something different this year. So we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it, Donald. Thanks for the call.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, you guys take care. Stay safe and tight lines, and I'll talk to you guys next week, and I'm heading to Fort DeSoto.
Good luck, buddy. Tight lines, my friend. Always a good time talking to our friend Donald and hearing from all of you guys this morning. So what do you got for us, Rick? What do you want to talk about this morning? We talked earlier about snook and then the redfish being spotty. I mean, trout action this time of year, things are warming up. They're starting to move a little bit deeper onto those deeper flats. What are you looking for this weekend if you're going to try to catch some trout?
A trout, yeah. A little bit deeper grass, 6-8 foot.
Mm-hmm.
And, any place that's holding some bait. I actually have one trout spot that originally it was a bait spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I would bring my guys, and I think I was getting a little bit low on bait, and I thought, I'm going to go over here and get some bait. And they wanted to fish while I was catching bait, and we started catching trout. So just, keep in mind the groceries that it has to be there. And if it, grass is a huge thing for trout.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they go hand in hand. So 6-8 feet of water. This time of year, they're getting ready and they're like full spawn when you get into May, June. It can be really great. It was interesting that used to be at the $1 Million Pier, they had a thing on sound and trout. And the males, the bladders on the males, they make a sound in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And they tracked them. And in one of the places that I have had as a honey hole for years, it basically shows that area. I was like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
But
Lit 'em
no.
up, huh?
Yes, yeah. But they do real well. And then also we always associate snook with the passes.
Mm-hmm.
The trout will get in the passes, too.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be really good for trout in the passes.
And this weekend, especially with this new moon, when, again, talking a lot today about my first boat when I was a kid, was always my favorite thing to do is docklight fishing. And, man, around a new moon, the docklight fishing is just incredible. Because it really concentrates the bait around those artificial light sources. So your dock lights, your bridge lights, your street lights along the coastal roadways, man, it concentrates the bait. It concentrates the fish.
It's funny you say that because years ago when Ben and I were kids, we used to always carry a lantern with us. We'd go early in the morning and put a lantern down, and the bait would come to the lantern. And I did that also in freshwater. At night, we would use a lantern, and it brings the bait up, and then you have the fish around the outside of the lights and everything. But if you take a flight, and I've taken several flights across, and they love to take and go across the bay and the skyway and stuff, and early in the morning or late at night when you're coming in, and you look at the canals and you see the lights now, everybody has dock lights.
Yeah.
Like, so they're concentrating everywhere.
Yeah, well, I think those, I think it makes a difference, those dock lights around those points, right? You get a canal point with a really fishy dock with the right pilings on it. And you got to look for older docks, too. New docks don't have the growth, and they generally don't hold as many fish.
And then, like, if there's a big boat there or sailboat tied up to it, you got a hole.
Yeah, we're giving away all the secrets now. How to pick the right dock. That's definitely a big secret. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. We're wrapping things up on the other side. Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
If you want your windows there in Weeds, pick up the phone.
And we fish docks in the wintertime. And I don't know why. I think it's just like if one fish gets on it, another fish gets on it.
And it's so interesting because you'll work a line of docks and you'll go through 10 docks that don't really have many fish, and then you get on that right dock and it's like
sometimes
motherland.
though, just like what you're saying, it could be like it makes sense to me. And sometimes it's like, did the fish just decide, okay, I'm going to stop at this dock?
Yeah.
Because if it's a point, and definitely if you have a big boat on it, or say they've got, like, there used to be at Egmont where they had the Coast Guard dock.
Yeah.
They had the tripods going down.
Yeah.
You talk about big sheephead when that was in the water.
Yep.
I'd get there and we'd get around that tripod marker and get set up in there, and they were 3 to 5 pound sheephead, sometimes bigger than that. And you'd flip up just underneath that where that tripod was.
Yeah.
Plus that deep holes right there off of that. But there's sometimes though I'll go along and I'm up in the tower and I'm looking at there'll be cloud of sheephead on a dock, and the dock don't look any different than the dock that's 100 feet down from it.
Yeah.
And they're all over that one dock. Why are they all over that? Did one just decide, okay, I'm gonna? And then there's one in particular that Rooster Curry got me on because Rooster lived out there. The guy put his own reef balls underneath the dock. And people they'd put cinder blocks out there and they do all kinds of stuff to add to their dock. But this guy's got reef balls under there. Got some keeper grouper off that dock, and it's not a deep water dock. I mean, I can see it's like off of like when you're coming in through some of those cuts and stuff that go there around where you go.
Yeah.
The further up you go up on Terra Verde side, there's deep water docks there, and I can see catching grouper there.
Oh, I had some docks in Terra Verde that had massive grouper.
They did an article, I don't know how many years ago, and it was talking about catching grouper on around docks.
So there's a part of my neighborhood growing up. There was a little bridge going into the neighborhood, and that little bridge connected two pretty large bays in the intercoastal, big grass flats on either side. And me and my buddies would spearfish, Hawaiian sling around there. And dude, we got into it, and we would take trailer loads of concrete and cinder blocks. And I talked to the homeowners, and like 3 docks leading up to the bridge on either side, we built these massive things underneath the docks, man. Oh man, it would get loaded. We'd get a limit of stone crab, shoot our limit of sheep's head. It was crazy. It was so much fun.
Wow.
It was great.
Now you reach in and grab the stone crab?
They're fun.
I used to get them where you used, like at low tide, you'd use a pole and you'd have, I put a piece of rebar on there. You can't bend it over in a hook, but a piece of rebar on it.
Yeah, just pin them down.
Stick it down in a hole and get them, work them out, and then get them.
And a lot of times,
and I would pin them down, make sure they were pinned down.
We would use like little ticklers, like lobster ticklers.
Yeah.
And they grab the stick, and then once their claw was on the stick, you can grab them. You know?
Well, I seen the guys where the holes are, and they're with like scuba gear or whatever, and they put their hand, and their guys talk about doing this too, where they put their hands in the hole and grab those. There's no way I'm putting my hand in that hole.
Oh no. That whole thing where you just stick your hand blindly in a hole.
They get them here and pull the crab out. Yeah, and I thought about that as a kid down in the Keys. I used to do that for lobster. And I'd have my arm all the way up in here.
get out there for sure. Weather-wise, things are looking good. It is all things lining up. Stars are aligning, so get out there and take advantage of it this weekend. Remember, that weather update is brought to you by our friends at Reese Windows and Doors. They are Florida's leading window and door company with over 50 years in business. They offer free installation on most windows and doors, and they install in just 6 weeks. They only use in-house installers, no freelance contractors, and their work comes with a double lifetime warranty, which means you never pay for the warranty when you sell your home, and that warranty will transfer to the new owners, adding value to your home. Visit reesewindows.com for more info. So, Captain Rick Gross, if someone wanted to book a charter with you, how would they go about that? What's the best way to reach you?
Well, you can go online, and it's fishybusinessllc.com.
Mm-hmm.
And the number is 941-730-5148. But I still think just calling in and or getting a hold of Real Animals will work just perfect.
And also guidechecker.com.
Exactly.
Captain Rick Gross is one of our Guide Checker family members. And Guide Checker is a great resource if you are going outside of the Tampa Bay area. You're not going with Hubbard's. You're not going with one of Captain Mike's guys at 866 Game Fish. Guide Checker is a great resource if you're going to Alabama, Destin, the East Coast. If you're looking for a guide that you can trust, we have guides in South Carolina, North Carolina, all the way through Texas, and even into Alaska now. So guidechecker.com if you're looking for a guide outside the area. You know it's a verified, trusted, insured, reputable guide who is also going to be recommended by other guides in the industry. Checked, verified. It's not someone at Fishing Booker where anybody can get on there if you're willing to give them enough money. So it's not pay to play. It's a very interesting, cool thing that we are building by guides for guides. Excited.
It's like the Angie's List.
Yes. The Angie's List, but it's an Angie's List built by guides, right?
Yeah.
So in order to get listed, you have to be recommended by other guides. Guidechecker.com. Check it out if you're looking for a guide. And have Rick a call. FishyBusinessLLC.com. Great guy, super knowledgeable. Always enjoy having you on the show. Thanks for coming and joining me this morning.
Thanks for asking. I enjoy it. I love it. It feels like part of me.
That's awesome, man. Definitely appreciate all of you as well. Remember, tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m., we have the live stream show on the Real Animals Hubbard Facebook page. We're giving away $1,500 in free trips. All you have to do is tune in and join the show. Again, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night, live stream show. 7 p.m. May 26th, we'll be over there at OCC Roadhouse for our in-person event, giving away Ole rods, Dingle coolers, Real Animals Hubbard Marina swag. We hope to see you there. And then don't forget to sign our petition about this FWC out-of-state license. You can find it on the Capt Hubbard Facebook page. In our stories, we've got the link to the petition there. Make sure you sign the petition. Tell your friends. Now let's get this thing fixed. We appreciate y'all. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, just keep darn busy. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of the Real Animals family. We're out.
Fishing.
6a-8a and tell you to golf course. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in and hanging out and being a part of the Saturday morning show. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night for the live stream show. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, Real Animals Sunday, 620 WDAE. Make sure you tune in and catch the Sunday show, too. Always interesting over there on Sunday. So appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And thanks for joining the streams.
For these things, and so we've done very well.
The governor spoke on a variety of political topics ranging from the number of justices on the Supreme Court to his feud with Florida House Speaker Danny Perez. A Miami-Dade County judge has a warning for the man who claims he was shot at by former NFL star Antonio Brown.
The state has mechanisms to physically bring people in as witnesses. And so I don't think we're going to need to get to that point.
She also says Zulkarnain Nantambu could be held in contempt of court. Nantambu's attorney believes his client missed his scheduled Zoom deposition with Brown's attorney because there was a conflict and is now asking to reschedule. Brown is facing an attempted second-degree murder charge after police say the wide receiver shot at Nantambu outside a boxing match in Miami last year. Brown contends he was defending himself from someone who previously tried to rob him. A stand-your-ground hearing is set for next month. Miami-Dade County is cracking down on disabled parking permit fraud. Tax collector Daryl Fernandez says they're targeting permits connected to deceased individuals as part of a new fraud detection initiative. He says they're cross-checking permits against official death records and enforcing verification protocols to prevent misuse. Fernandez says his office is committed to protecting residents, exposing abuse, and ensuring government accountability. Florida gas prices have been falling lately. AAA reports today's statewide average for a gallon of regular is $4.24, and that's 5 cents cheaper than yesterday's average, while the highest average is in West Palm Beach at $4.42 a gallon, and the cheapest is in Pensacola at $4.07 a gallon. With Florida's news, I'm Tim Adkins.
It's Ryan and David here.
Check us out on the Ryan Gorman Show, Monday morning at 5.
On News Radio WFLA.
You may notice some police activity and a bit of a slowdown that's southbound of I-275 hopping onto the Howard Franklin Bridge, but the bridge itself is clear at this time. No incident on the rest of I-275. This includes the Skyway Bridge. Right now, no issues or delays reported east or westbound of I-4. We're also clear on I-75 as well as the Selman, and if you're crossing the bay, the Gandy and Courtney Campbell as well. Taking a look in Pinellas, US 19 is incident-free. I'm Brian Black, News Radio WFLA.
Saturday, Tampa Bay tracking a muggier start to the day. Dry, though, and looking ahead to a toasty afternoon with a high of about 93 degrees, above average for this time of